Welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. I am Laura Simmons. I have with me today Margaret Green,
Hello, how you doing?
and our guest today is Dr. Enqi. He'll be in shortly. And we have Ursula D. Allen. She should be on the show today too. She should be in shortly as well. Um, so I guess because our guest hasn't made it in yet, we'll just talk about something Um, else, I want to say congratulations to Rihanna and her guy Rocky. They gave birth to a baby boy
Oh
today.
wow. I was wondering what she had.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And I guess that's the only thing I wanted to mention today because, like I said, I wanted to bring in our guest right away. So I'm going to bring in our guest for today. We have Dr. Inky with us today. And some of you guys have been requesting for him to come back. So he is back in the building today. Good evening.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, you
Okay.
can hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what was up with my computer. Then I just remembered the children had my computer, so
Oh
they had
Lord.
they had it connected to their TV.
Oh, okay. So how you doing today?
Good. It's always a daddy daycare moment here.
Yeah. Yeah, I go look. Believe me, I could just only I can I know how that is. Really, I wasn't gonna. I was gonna say I can just imagine, but I already know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had my grandchildren came to visit me this week, and so my granddaughter told me, she said, "Granny, um, let's go outside and race." So she's 4 years old.
Right now, I literally just finished rubbing my ankle
Because you don't race one of your kids, right?
with some magnesium gel just because I was outside overdoing it.
Yep. She said, so come on, Granny. She said, let's race.
They
So
all want to be, they all want to get it.
yeah.
You
So
know,
we get out there, and so she like telling me, get on your march, get ready, get set, go. Then she runs, and I'm running with her. She done passed me up. She done passed me and my other grandbaby up. So she says, Granny, that's not how you supposed to run. You gotta run like this. And you
see,
run
that's
real
my problem.
fast. I
See,
said,
that's my
girl,
problem. I do not let them win.
I can't beat her. I couldn't beat her. She like a little rabbit. And
Listen, I be
she
on
was
foot racing them on their bike, and I still have to. I'm like, mm-mm.
no,
So
I
when I
couldn't beat
get
her.
back in the
I
house,
tried.
I'll be having to pay for that later on. Like
Yeah, that's true.
cow gone take me away type of.
Yeah, them kids are something else. But she got her granny though. She got her good because she was like, no, that's not how you do it, Granny. That's not how you do it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
gotta pick it up, Granny. Come on, keep up.
yeah, I couldn't keep up with her. I was laughing because the other one run just like me. My other granddaughter, she runs just like me. We run like this sides, like we doing exercise.
Y'all,
And she
y'all,
was, and we ain't
y'all in
going no
cruise
fast.
control, right?
Yeah, and so I started laughing when I see her run. The middle child, I see her run. I just started cracking up laughing. I said, "Oh boy, she surely got my, she got my run."
Mm-mm.
But yeah,
That's good to get that energy, though. It's important.
oh yeah, it is.
Need it.
Yeah. So, how you all are doing today? How's everybody doing today?
Great. Can't
Alive. Yeah.
complain. It's hot, but that's good.
Yeah, we just starting to get little
I
heat
think it was
today.
either 91 or 96 today, I think.
Oh my God, you are showing out. What state is that?
South Carolina.
Wow.
It's,
okay.
I mean, you talking about you can take and cook an egg on the ground. Yeah, it's
Oh
hot.
wow.
But that's cool. Maybe we about, hopefully, I'm hoping in my mind, we may be 2 weeks behind y'all. So,
Where are
I'm in
you? What state you in?
Michigan. So
Oh,
usually,
okay, yeah.
usually we about
Yeah, y'all be still chilling while we up here smoking.
well, I want it. We want it. We need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know that heat, they from what I was told, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that the heat and the sun is good for us though.
It is. That's my doctor said that
Yeah.
for vitamin D.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody was telling me that it's really actually good for our skin and stuff. I need it right about now. 'Cause I
Yeah.
surely can't figure out what is causing me and my little breakout I'm having.
Yeah.
Like, wait till I get to a certain age, then you want to come creeping up on with little acne and all that craziness. I'm like, oh no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But
But it's good for a lot of reasons. You get your vitamin D.
mhm.
You get all sorts of and first of all, vitamin D is now and it's funny because I was saying years ago that, like, predicting, you know what I'm saying? Because I was
Mhm.
like, first we had vitamin D, then it was D2, then it was D3.
Yeah, what's the difference?
I was like, okay, so we're getting ready to have like a whole group of vitamin D's, like it's getting ready to be a group. But now it's accepted that this it's a group of steroid hormones that we call vitamin D, but it's really like a bunch of them. It's like 6 or 7 of them.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I know because I always end up with D3, and I thought it was just I
Well,
didn't
no.
understand
At
what's
the
the
time,
difference.
I was making fun because those like are determinants for the source wherever you're getting it from, right? So D1 vitamin D, what they used to call it, that was more like a rock kind of, and then D2 is like a fungal type of vitamin D. So it's like
Oh, D2 is?
yeah, so you shouldn't use D2. You shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
D2 is like it comes from like fermented type of, they use alfalfa sometimes, best case scenario, but they use like a lot of fungus from mushrooms, or there's a fungus they extract that they put in the milk, ergosterol, which is like a toxic thing. I can't even believe that's like they got away with using that in milk all these years, and they still do. Like, I just don't understand how that's the thing in there, because I mean, some funguses like mushrooms are good. They got benefits to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like just because it's a fungus or it's fungal is bad for you. But
Right.
This one specifically, ergosterol, when you look it up, it says it's an irritant. Don't put it in your mouth, your eyes, your skin, like it's an irritant. You know what I'm saying? But they shine light on it, they radiate it, and then they drop it in the milk.
Wow.
I was like, what?
So what about D3?
D3 is the form that you want to get. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the best one to purchase any type of.
Yeah, because that's the one I take now.
Right.
I take that one. It's like a gel. It's a little gel like pill.
Yeah, they got them in the pills, the drops. But that's the one you want to get. That's the best one that's on the market so far, is vitamin D3.
You know what? I just learned something new about the vitamin D. That I did not know that vitamin D is good for mood.
Yeah,
I did
absolutely.
not know that. I just learned that. I just learned that vitamin D can control the mood. It can help your mood. So like when you go through those deep depressions and stuff, is they said that vitamin D is good for it. It helps it. It helps.
No, absolutely. It's but it's just a piece. You know what I'm saying? It's just a piece, but the more you learn about how your body works, you know what I'm saying? Like you can really, you know, turn that thing around quickly. I mean, you still gonna have, like, life is still gonna smash you in the nose every so often. Like that's just how it goes. But the way you respond to those things, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's just your neurochemistry. And if you don't have the nutrient reserves, a lot of times it takes you into a deeper type of spiral with, you know, within your emotions. But, you know, and because we don't know, again, how our body works in that sense, it's always about what's happening to us as opposed to something that we have control over. You know what I'm saying? So most people will never link, and it's all a money grab. You know, a lot of this stuff is a money grab. You know what I'm saying? And I think my first real, and we'll cycle back to the vitamin D in a second, but my first real, I guess, foray into seeing just how much of a money grab this was in terms of mental health was when I found out about lithium. You know, because lithium is something that they prescribe to balance your neurochemistry. Not so much today as they used to back in the days. Like lithium was the super go-to lithium. And, you know, I guess me, like most people in the world, you start to think that lithium is a drug. You know what I'm saying? If, you know, if something's wrong, you get a prescription for lithium. Come to find out, lithium is not a drug.
No,
Lithium is a regular trace mineral. Like you're supposed to have lithium in your diet. You know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to have it.
oh really?
Yeah, lithium is just a regular, you know, element. Just like
Is it similar to copper?
or like copper or iron, or just another. It's just another natural thing that you should have. You know, in very.
I know when you get your blood work, and it has all those things of that how where it should be and where it is. What if you need to get more of this, or we need to get more of that? And I'm like, when I'm looking at some of them, I'm like, I didn't know you had all that in your body.
Yeah. Those are your blood values. Those are like, that's a very small picture of some of the stuff that's going on in there. But all of these natural things, a lot of times, what later on becomes a symptom, a disease, or this or that or whatever, it comes from something missing. And so it just made me begin to view things a little bit differently. You know, as most people, they're thinking that they're getting some patch, some medicine that's, you know, but in hindsight, I was like, wait a minute, is that actually a medicine or a cure, or is that really just giving somebody back something that they should have already had that would have, you know? So that kind of made me begin to like, and this is early on, this is like in my teen years, you know what I'm saying, when I started to have friends, you know, committing suicide and going into like the crazy house, and you know what I'm saying, like so many things that are so many things that today are like, you know, you look like when you when you coming out of the hood, so to speak, there's so many different types of traumatic things that is just regular, normal, everyday business for you.
Yeah,
right.
Later on, if you're lucky enough to survive them spaces, you look back and you're like, well, yeah, that's kind of, yeah, I had, you know, but yeah. So I remember having a friend, one specifically that grew up in my building, and yeah, he committed suicide because his mom was like super abusive, and she was a super nice lady though. Very nice lady, you know, like she always said hi, and you know, like she was just a really nice lady, but she'd come to find out like she was a maniac. and the kids was adopted, and she was like a foster parent, and she was like wildly vicious on them and all kind of crazy stuff. Like it was wild, you know what I'm saying? But
How old was your friend?
maybe a little older than me, so he was in his late teens, you know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I started to look at some of that stuff, just curiosity. My mind always pushes me towards science anyway, but so I started to look at, and so lithium, you know, I started like, oh, so this is a trace element. We should probably have some of that in our, you know, in our daily regimen somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And then if you start to look, there's foods that just have lithium in it in small amounts. So you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
This is another reason why we need to eat fruits and vegetables, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we have an arrogant view of science in the world. And it's a human thing. It's not like a, you know, it's just a human thing. We think no matter what time period we live in, everything is pretty figured out. So the people that were alive in 1900, they thought the world was pretty figured out. The people that were alive in 1800, you know, they thought the world was pretty figured out. So when you look back at history and you see like these discoveries where, like, you know, they're discovering a new organ, you know what I'm saying? Like that, and a new organ in your body being discovered, you know, like they had a new one discovered not too long ago. A new organ like in your stomach or in your abdomen rather. And I was like ringing the alarm online. I'm posted all over the place. I'm like, nobody's it like it's just people are just like, yo, did you hear about Nicki Minaj? Or like, you know, I'm like, wait, I'm like, what the? I'm like trying to slap people awake. Like, let me just slap your face. Do you understand what that means? They found a new organ. Like, how do you like you can't even understand the paradigm shift that needs to go with that, because when they explain your body to you, they explain it to you as if they know that everything works like this and everything runs like that. The moment you add a new organ in there, that means that almost everything you knew before that moment was incorrect, or at least incomplete at best. You know what I'm saying? But they discover new like nutrients and new things that your body should have. And you got to say to yourself, okay, well, if we just discovered this, what were we doing before? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it was a humbling, you know, experience. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just start looking at stuff, you know, from a more abstract perspective, as if, you know, God is God, man is man, and man, no matter how slick we get, you know, woman included, you know, our species, you know, but no matter how slick we get, your arms are too short to box with God. Like this,
That's true.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, there's always gonna be. I forgot this guy. I fell in love with this saying. It's we know the things we know, and so knowing the things that we know some of the things that we don't. I'm paraphrasing. I'm definitely butchering this, but for the people that know the saying, it'll jog this. But it's we know the things we know, so we know some of the things that we don't know, but there are some things that we don't know that we don't know.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like there are some things that that are so far outside of your
that you just don't know
you don't even know that
you can't even comprehend.
Yeah, you can't even speculate that they exist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
even if somebody told you, you just like, it's just not, no, it's like no compute.
Right. So it's like you playing it safe when you go with the natural, because the natural is gonna have those things there that you know about, but then it's also, because it's the natural substance, it's gonna have even the things that may not have been discovered in the atmosphere, in the water, in the earth, etc., yet. It's going to have all those components that you need, even the ones that you don't know that you need yet. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to something created in the laboratory is going to be, you know, because they're making it from scratch, so to speak. It's composed of these 5 things or these 10 things or these 20
these
things.
molecules and this
right,
and
and
that.
it's finite. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I put these in the pot and this is what was there, bang, as opposed to going into the plant universe and maybe we're grabbing
Do you I have a question. Do you think that the organ or the thing that you just mentioned that they have discovered, do you think it could be coming from the chemicals that's in the food and the things that we're digesting these days? Or do you think it was already there?
yeah, you have stuff that there's stuff in the body that they don't know how it works.
Oh, okay.
So there's things that you can see in the body, but they
You don't
just
know what it's
can't.
for.
Right. So they'll just arbitrarily label it as like structural. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of our tissues, and it's something that I studied for a long time. So I'm usually like way ahead of the learning curve, but it's called, you have fascia. Right. And fascia are just like, for the longest, they just been viewed as like structural tissues that kind of hold everything in place.
Hey, everybody.
Most people don't even, their minds don't even get that curious. They never even wonder, how is it that the lung stays where the lung stays, and the liver stays where it stays, and the pancreas stays where it stays, and the spleen stays where it stays, and the heart stays where it stays, and this stays where that, like is it water in there holding everything in place, or like who's making sure that, you know what I'm saying? So
nothing moves or drops.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So then I found out that everybody's body is not exactly the same. Right. So everybody's organs aren't even in the same spot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
wow.
that's weird. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, they are. But then there's some people who's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? They might have some stuff in a different place. But then you have these tissues that kind of that are responsible for like holding everything in place. And a lot of times people never, women sometimes hear of it if they get like a lot of cottage cheese, in the back of the legs and the butt. And
they say it's not good for us.
That might be a part of the conversation. If you have a good doctor, he'd be like, well, the fascia is getting twisted up, and that's kind of why you got this stuff back here. And so, chylomicrons and blah, 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 blah. And
so how you get rid of it?
It's the best way is just really just exercise and that. Like you'd be surprised.
I've seen some people and I'd be like, my gosh, almost look like.
Well, it's chylomicrons are like a type of fat molecule that could get out of control in the body. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you get it under control though? How would you get it under control? Is it something you can take?
No. That's the problem. No, you gotta manage the fat. We gotta cut down on the fat and
exercise and
we gotta couple. We gotta recouple diet to lifestyle. Like there are so many different problems that come out of that space. That's why I forgot who I was just telling this to. But excess is one of the biggest problems that humans have. You know what I'm saying? Like success is a problem. Luxury is a problem. Wealth is a problem. Abundance is a problem.
That's why they have all these all-you-can-eat places, and people eat until they get stupid.
Yeah.
They be sitting up there like.
But even without that,
like no more food for you.
No, but even outside that, most people, like 90% of people in America, their diet is not coupled to their lifestyle.
It really isn't.
The way we've been taught is opposite to that. You're taught to wake up and eat. You know what I'm saying? So when you have breakfast, you already uncouple your diet from your lifestyle because you just rolled out of bed and now you're getting ready to have 400, 1,000 calories for what? You haven't done anything. You haven't earned those calories. You haven't. There's no, you have zero requirement for what you're putting in right now. You know what I'm saying? Like you just, that right there it's problematic most times. Like breakfast is like super crazy for like it's not a good meal for people.
Because they always say that breakfast is the most important part of the meal of the day, of your day. So you want to make sure you eat breakfast.
Right. Well, that's no. Right after that is where it gets twisted. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but the rest of that sentence is where it goes crazy. Like, oh, so you want to make sure you eat? Whoa. No, you want to make sure, because our idea of good is different.
Okay.
So good for most people means a lot, because everybody is in this idea that we need to be rich. And rich means that, we have a lot. That's what rich means, a lot. You know what I'm saying? Extra abundance. You know what I'm saying? So good breakfast is, I need to have some eggs and toast and meat. And I need to have a starch with that. Let me get some grits or some oatmeal or some rice or some, hash browns, or, then I need to have me do
I need to turn off my camera, go get me something to eat, because you make me hungry.
Right. And none of that's what you should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that's bad. You know what I'm saying? So then you gotta have juice and or soda and or coffee or tea. Like, it's none of that.
Right.
You don't need that stuff unless you are like really, really, really super active. Now, if you're super active, then you do need to have a really good breakfast to get you to provide what you need.
Because you can process it.
To provide what you need to be in a good mental state.
Right.
But then also for your body. You know what I'm saying? If those are the challenges. So some of us, we don't really have physical challenges because we're not physically active, but we do have mental challenges because we may be going to work or school.
Right.
So you need to have a breakfast that's going to make sure that,
it nourishes your brain and your body.
Potassium pops. You want your potassium to pop immediately, which is a American nightmare.
Which they said, that's what I was telling you about the vitamin D, D3. They mentioned in there that when you're taking the vitamin D, and you should be taking it in the morning time, but they said you should be eating before you take it, because it's supposed to. You have that food.
Let's stop with what they say. Let's stop with what they say. They say a lot. That none of that's correct. Let's put them on the back burner. They don't know what they're saying. They're saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? But the body is tuned to make the most vitamin D in the middle of the day. So that's not even the best time to target to take a synthetic vitamin D. You want to take your synthetic vitamin D in the middle of the day, the same way. You want to always try to mimic nature. And because the sun's at its most potent in terms of UVB between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., that's when you should be taking your vitamin D supplements.
Really?
That's the vitamin.
I usually take mine early in the morning, but I guess I probably should be taking it later.
Yeah, that's the natural vitamin D window is lunchtime. But back to what I'm saying with you're just having your mind right. You want to make sure your potassium pops. That's an American nightmare, because potassium is coupled to sodium in your body. And you're supposed to have 4 times, a good number is about 3 to 4 times as much potassium as sodium.
Sorry for laughing. I just was reading something on the side here.
It's okay. But most people have it the opposite. We have 3 to 4 times as much sodium as potassium. So that already right there lowers your brain activity.
What, the sodium?
Well, getting more sodium in than potassium. Sure. Yeah.
Oh.
I guess because we are made up of water and dirt. So it's
no. You just got to have ratios. So that's where it also becomes even more complicated, is that,
because like they'll say you need to get by the ocean so you can get some salt water in your body. I've heard that before too.
The salt water is good. Just being by the ocean is a different. It's a therapeutic. It's therapeutic for a lot of different reasons, because you bring
mentally too.
Yeah, you're bringing crystals, you're bringing water, you're bringing the sun all together at one time in that space. So that's like a super therapeutic space by itself. But Your brain needs to have a certain amount of potassium for your memory, for you to be alert, etc.
What's a good thing to eat for potassium? I know bananas is one of them, they say.
Yeah, that's
I'm not a big banana fan though, but
hey, you may have to
I
do
buy
it.
them all the time because my husband like them, but
No, you got to get them in. You know
I
what I'm
might
saying?
have to start eating
Like,
them.
listen,
Oh, what the you
I
have?
think-
It's a must that you have.
well,
It's no other way around that banana.
bananas are a good one. I mean, you get your greens. You know what I'm saying? Greens are really high, but bananas have a unique space. You know what I'm saying? So bananas, you know, like I tell people, you want to try to build yourself up to where you can start to eat 20% for your tongue and 80% for your body.
Oh,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? So, you know, you gotta toughen up. You gotta deal with it. You can't go
Hey,
by.
Ursula.
You can't just go by what tastes good to you. That's not going to lead you to a good place. You know what I'm saying? So you can't juggle. Well, I don't like the way this. That's tough. You're just going to have some of this sometime. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But coconut water is good. You know what I'm saying? Coconut.
So it has potassium in it.
Yeah, super high. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Coconut.
I like coconuts.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? But coconut year round, yeah, that might be tough to find. You know what I'm saying? But they got coconut water that's high in potassium. It's expensive though to get good coconut water. You don't really want to get canned coconut water like those.
Yeah, I heard that's not
and
good
all
for
that
you.
stuff. Those are not good. You got to get the raw coconut water. You know what I'm saying? And they be getting beside themselves with the prices sometimes for that. You see like a little bottle for $6-7. You'd be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they say you have to spend money when you're trying to eat healthy, though.
Healthy.
That's
Well,
what I read.
maybe.
I
You
read
see what I'm
that.
saying? Because look, you could be in a space where you can go, okay, well, I don't like bananas, so I'm gonna get me the $7 coconut water, or I'm just gonna deal, you know, I'm gonna toughen up and deal with this banana for 50 cents. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
How much potassium do the banana offer? About
it offers you something like 100-to-1 ratio in terms of potassium to sodium. You know what I'm saying? So it's a super crazy, because that's what it comes down to with a lot of this stuff. It's not really how much, it's the ratio. You know what I'm saying? So your body works in ratios like that. Everything is coupled. So you got iron and copper, zinc and copper, like all these different nutrients. They have like a counterbalance, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them compete for receptor sites and it gets a little crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it's just really a lot of times it's just balance, like omega-3 to omega-6. It's not necessarily a problem to have omega-6s. It's only a problem when you have, you know, so much more omega-6 than you have of omega-3. You know what I'm saying? Because the correct balance is, again, somewhere around 3-to-1. You're supposed to have more omega-3s to omega-6. So it's not as much as the thing in itself, is just how it's balanced in your diet. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what is the omega-3 for? What is that for?
So what omega-3 omega-3 and omega-6, what omega-3 does by itself, the main thing is omega-3 is what was like the silent warrior for making cannabis legal everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Okay, because I know that now I can't do omega-3. Every time I try to do omega-3, I always have like a allergic reaction to it.
That's
So I
probably
can't
because you
do it.
got something going on with fish, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because the omega-3 supplements are largely just fish stuff.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
every time I take them, I always have like allergic reaction to it. Same thing with fish. Now I love fish. I love me some catfish, but every time it never
what
fails.
about
I
ocean?
always
But what about ocean vegetables? You should try that. You know what I'm saying? Because the ocean vegetables, like omega-3, that's something that people, that's another like misnomer, because we've had that drilled into our mind. Eat your fish for omega-3s, that we think omega-3 comes from fish. It doesn't.
okay.
Omega-3s actually come from the ocean vegetables, and the fish consume the ocean vegetables. And so it gets concentrated in the fish, and then we eat the fish to get it. But we could just cut out the middleman and have the ocean vegetables. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is, in our bodies, omega-6 has like a fork in the road kind of pathway to its metabolism. So if you have the right ratio of omega-3s to complement them, then the omega-6s will be converted into endocannabinoids. And the endocannabinoids are what kind of quiet inflammation throughout the body. So cannabis has, as an exogenous, like an external source of cannabinoids that acts on the inflammatory system. And that's kind of where that whole craze came from. You know what I'm saying? But it's still better to try to balance your vegetables and get it the natural way, your endocannabinoid, because endocannabinoids, as much as there's a the craze of treating cancer and this, that, and the other, and all this different stuff with cannabis, you know what I'm saying? Like it's still a vegetable thing. You know what I'm saying? We forget that it's like anything that's in one plant you can find it in other plants. Like there's no nutrient that's in this one plant. That's why, like in my book, I stick more to the nutrients themselves than like herbs. Most holistic healers, they tell you about herbs. Like, here, you use this herb and use that herb. But to me, that's limiting, because if those plants are not available to you, then what? You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a person that wants to focus in on like the active vitamins, the active minerals, the active antioxidants, or whatever the case may be, because that way, you know what I'm saying? If for whatever reason this plant's not available, I can look and see if there's some other ways that I can get that in. You know what I'm saying? Like you asked about the potassium.
What about you said the ocean vegetables? How do you what are ocean vegetables? Where would you get them?
Well, I have a supplement called Ocean Steak, which is like a variety of ocean vegetables put together. So drenqi.com, but you can just go to the supermarket. They got like nori wraps. You know what I'm saying? Nori is a good ocean vegetable. You got kelps, you got chlorellas, you got like your supermarket. Chances are we've been walking past it, but there's usually a little section in your supermarket that has them. Even in my cabinet, I don't buy salt, I buy kelp flakes. They got like salt replacement, it's called, but it's just kelp flakes instead of like an actual salt. And that gives you the same salty kind of taste, but it also has the natural iodines and all the other things that's supposed to be attached to the sodium. So kelp flakes is like just a healthier, instead of getting ridiculous and buying Himalayan sea salts that don't really they don't really offer the benefits that people think. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like a hustle. You hear about sea salt and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get me some Himalayan sea salt. Then you're buying that for a little while. And then you hear about the pink one. You're like, oh, the pink one should be stronger than the white one. And then you hear about the red one. And then the red one should be stronger than the pink one. And then you hear about the black Himalayan sea salt. You're like, oh no, this came from a volcano. This is like, no, you're just buying a lot of expensive
stuff. Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
look, this is something that's funny that just recently happened to me. So I haven't been intaking any salt at all. So one day last week, I decided to eat something, and oh my gosh, it was ridiculously salty to me. And I was like, I wonder why is it so salty to me? Because my husband said it wasn't salty to him. My daughter said it wasn't salty to her, but it was because I hadn't been eating salt. And I didn't know that would actually happen to you if you haven't been eeating salt in a while.
Yeah,
I didn't know that everything will taste real salty to you when you do finally intake some.
Well, yeah, because if you're eating, you're always getting in salt, but if you're not adding salt, then it's different. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of processed foods, they have so many different layers of sodium in there hidden. That's where they blend a combination. They got like a bunch of books out on exposing the food industry, but that's their chemical genie in the lamp is salt, sugar, and oil. They use oil to kind of mask So you can add layers and layers and layers and layers of these things without it necessarily responding to the tongue, so to speak. But yeah, you know, if you take a break, you know what I'm saying, you'll
You
notice
could
it.
tell the difference, because what I was doing was I was eating fresh vegetables, just straight vegetables. No, God, it wasn't cooking them. I was just eating them, just raw vegetables, and I wasn't adding any sodium to it. The only thing I was adding to it was black pepper, because I heard black pepper speeds up the metabolism. So because it speeds up the metabolism, I was doing only black pepper, but I wasn't doing any sodium. So when I did decide to eat a little sodium, I noticed that, I noticed the difference. I could tell the difference, because it had
All
my
peppers are gonna, for the most part, are gonna give your metabolism a boost.
yeah, that's what I heard. I heard,
But
and I just learned about the black pepper will speed up the metabolism through a
for most of them,
trainer.
especially cayenne, like if that's what you're
Yeah,
trying to do, you might as well just add you some hot pepper there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because the
yeah,
cayenne is good. You know what I'm saying? And it
So that
helps.
really does speed it up, huh? That
yeah.
cayenne
It
pepper.
does.
I
It
Yeah.
bet
does.
it does.
It helps you metabolize nutrients and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I can't take that cayenne.
It's a good benefit. But going back to where we was at with the mental health, you know what I'm saying? So potassium is good. Um,
The vitamin D.
Making sure, yeah, but vitamin D is good for so many different things. You don't want to pigeonhole vitamin D.
Right.
And
But
What
I'm
about
just
vitamin
saying
E?
it's good for the
yeah,
mental
yeah,
though. It's
your
really good
mood,
for
absolutely.
those who, that might be suffering through a mood. They go through the mood swings, and they wondering why, what could they do to help themselves. That's the reason why I said,
Let me
I
tell you.
mentioned the vitamin D.
Let me tell you. There's a and I'm starting this Saturday. We're doing like a 6 weeks crash course on metabolism, weight loss, diabetes, all of that stuff on my Patreon. So anybody subscribe to the Patreon, they'll be in there. I mean, everything is on my Patreon, but specifically, we're gonna do this thing on Saturdays. And one of the caveats, like I'm trying to hurry up and finish this book within the next, I keep saying it's almost finished, but every day when I run through it, there's like a whole nother 2 or 3 pages that are, but one of the main things that I'm talking about in it is the language inside your body, right? That's a very important thing for us to start to understand how the body works in terms of language. Everything on this planet is communication.
Oh yeah.
So we need to understand, to be optimally healthy, how do our cells communicate? Like, what's the communication to the cells? How do our glands communicate? What are our organs saying to each other? Like, what's going on in there? Who's saying what? You know what I'm saying? And we make the shift to that. It started making things easy for me. At least that's how I had to wire my brain to make learning how the body works a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? Because vitamin D, it is, the conversation that vitamin D has with the body is, okay, we're in abundance time. You know what I'm saying? Because you have 2 times a year, and vitamin D marks that for your body. You have the cold season, and then you have the warm season. The warm season is when everything is regenerating, blooming, blossoming, coming into fruition, and that's what vitamin D marks. The colder season is when things are kind of shutting down, and so your body has a different space that it likes to be in. So in the warmer seasons, and this goes across the board, white, yellow, red, brown, black, in the warmer season, your body likes to shed fat, it likes to shed sugar, because it's in abundance. So everything is here. I don't have to hoard. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be worried about my survival. I have everything that I need is around. When you're in a wintertime space, your body has it's like a storage. It's like a squirrel kind of, or like a bear. You know what I'm saying? Your body has a space where it likes to secure because it's scarcity. You know what I'm saying? And these are interwoven into the most archaic, ancient parts of our DNA, our genetic information. So when it's the cold season, your body tends to hold more sugar, to build more fat, to keep you warm, to make sure that if there's scarcity, you've got enough fat on your body where you can afford to miss some meals. Like, you know, these are the things that.
But that's how people gain weight over the winter months. Because
this is what allowed us to survive. See, right now, we in the universe of restaurants and supermarkets, but that's not how our bodies came about. You know what I'm saying? There was a point where we had to go. If we was eating fruits and vegetables, we had to go gather the fruits and vegetables. If we were eating meat, we had to go kill. Like, we had to go jump on the back of the animal and, you know what I'm saying, kill it in order to. So
I didn't.
So, right, because we're in the world of supermarkets and restaurants. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying this is where our haplotypes and our bloodlines come from. So those safety mechanisms are still built within the framework of how our bodies work. So. So throughout the colder season, your body still has that. Yeah, we need to, you know, we need to eat heavier meals. We need to put on a little bit more weight. We need to sleep a little bit longer. All those things are survival mechanisms. And vitamin D is the switch. So when you have the right amount of vitamin D, it tells your body you're in an abundant space where it doesn't have to hold fats. It doesn't have to hold sugars and that sort of thing like that. So the fact that we, specifically brown and black people, are vitamin D deficient, the vitamin D starved year round, no matter how hot it is where we are, our body on the inside has a wintertime signal. So we want to put on fat. We want to hold sugar. We want to hold cholesterol, or we want to hold fat. So when we cross that threshold where we consistently have adequate amounts of vitamin D, that will contribute to weight just kind of falling off the body. You know what I'm saying? Without any special diet or any special exercise, your body was.
That explains why I lost.
Because your nervous system and your brain, it's your pigment system that actually controls your body's fat. It's not necessarily muscle. Muscle feeds on fat, but it doesn't control it. You know what I'm saying? So process, you got to trick your body into being able to really burn fat for long term, like to change your body's composition long term. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the nerves that's going to tell your fat cells to clear themselves out and release all the sugar into the bloodstream. And then once that happens, now exercise can kick in and you can get rid of it. Right. But no matter how much you exercise, if your fat cells are working with your cortisol and your insulin to store, you could work out like a maniac. Like, there's plenty of people in the gym that been in the gym for 2 years. They still look the same. They still in the gym for 3 years. They don't know how to change the body composition. So, you know, that's where vitamin D also has the nickname of the body recomposition.
Reshaping it.
Yeah, because it turns that switch for you, but that's a part of the internal language.
Right.
But more important for your mental health, though, is going to be the right amino acids. You know, the right amino acids, because if you don't have, for instance, tryptophan, like the most important amino acids that we need to eat, bar none, are aromatic amino acids, right? Because they are a part of, obviously essential, because your body doesn't make them. They're only made by plants. So this is when you get into like super deep vegan versus, you know, carnivore wars and debates, you know, that this comes about where we, you know, with this and that and the other. Why are we eating anything if this, you know, so it gets a little crazy, but it comes down to there are certain things that we just can't get anywhere else from plants. You know what I'm saying? And aromatic amino acids are the main things that we need, because all of the body's pigments, not just melanin, come from these aromatic amino acids. And then from those derivatives, you have a lot of hormones and other things. And tryptophan is the main one that controls your mood, because tryptophan, your body turns into serotonin, right? So now, you know, you got the right serotonin levels, you're happy, you're ambitious, you're ready to conquer the world, you know, you're ready to make the next flip, the next promotion, the next investment, the next, you know, I'm about to write this screenplay, like you lit. But if you don't, you kind of like, you pulling the blanket over. You don't want to get out. Like that's so serotonin is key for that. But then
So,
also
so where do you get the serotonin from? Is it?
tryptophan. Tryptophan. It's an aromatic amino acid. You get it from plants.
Oh, so do you have to get it from a special place? I mean,
Like a
can you get it in
supplement.
a store, or can you
All
get a
plants,
vitamin
plants,
for it?
plants, 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 plants.
What
Just
plant?
regular plant, any plant?
Pretty much all of the plants, fruits and vegetables. Yep. Pretty much all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pretty much all plants are going to have some degree of aromatic amino acid. So again, your greens, stuff like that. But people are eating. You if you eat meat, it's check your amino acid profile of what if that's available. If you take smoothies, you know what I'm saying, like. A lot of times people just take protein for protein. You know what I'm saying? So they just, I had a protein shake. I put a little protein in my smoothie. Okay, well that's cool. But what kind of protein did you put in your smoothie? You know what I'm saying? What's the protein profile? You know what I'm saying?
Right, because that's important.
That is super important
Yeah.
because every amino acid is going to contribute somehow to your body's functionality and your body structure.
Right.
So if you have a bunch of protein powder in your drink, that's basically branched chain amino acids, which are the cheapest and most spread out, widespread everywhere. Those are going to be probably the most problematic. So 90% of those powders are problematic for John Q. Public because John Q. Public doesn't really have a requirement for branched chain amino acids as an adult, because that's going to activate your mTOR system. And the mTOR system is really just to make your cells like grow, right? So now obese and then divide, which gives you potential for cancer. So branched chain amino acids for John Q. Public is not a good thing. Activating and overstimulating the mTOR system in the body is not a good thing, right? But we do need to make sure we get like proline and glycine and those kind of things, because those are the amino acids that you need to keep your knees, your elbows, your shoulders good. Those are the amino acids that your body rebuilds tendons and the joints out of. Now, so those you need, but you got to see what the amino acid profile is, because sometimes you buy a powder and it doesn't have none of that stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? Those are more reserved for like collagen stuff. So they, you got those, collagen powders, you know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of in that space. And then you have like the aromatics are usually sold by themselves. You can find tryptophan. If you want to find it as like a standalone thing, you can find tryptophan by itself. You can find.
You got to get it from at a health food store or something.
Yeah. Or you, like I said, it's in your food though. You know what I'm saying? So that's.
Oh, it's already there, but we just don't know it's there.
That's the best place. It's in your food.
So like the greens and the fruits and vegetables, and
I got like a lot of cheat codes, on my website, you know what I'm saying, drenqi.com, in terms of how we put our compounds together. They built around these cheat codes, but a lot of, but just for general purposes, this food, you know what I'm saying? Then the aromatics. Now, here's the thing with the aromatics. The aromatics is the main target of pesticides, right?
Oh, wow.
So if you have the food that has a lot of chemical, that's where organic versus the chemical stuff really comes into play, right? When you have the conversation about white seeds in your watermelon or seedless fruits and things like that, the way those things are produced is by spraying chemicals onto the plants, and then those chemicals attack what's called the Shikimate pathway. And the Shikimate pathway is basically the place in plants that produces these aromatic amino acids that then turn into your body's pigments. And so, directly, those chemicals have a much more damaging effect on, brown and black folks than anybody else. It's a little more pronounced because we need more pigment because we have more pigment to maintain.
Right.
Right. So that's why my whole movement is based on a pigment and fiber diet. Like that's what we focusing on, pigment and fiber. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the non-protein or the keto is all fat, the Atkins is all protein and all this kind of goofy stuff. But what we focusing on is fiber and pigment. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the things that drive your health and your.
So the seedless grapes and seedless watermelon really is not good for you. You should be really getting.
No, absolutely not. That to me, let me tell you, and this might be, left field for some folks, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still minister, you know what I'm saying? I'm still people know me as Dr. Inky now, but I'm still Minister Inky. Before I went to school to become a naturopathic doctor, I was an ordained minister, you know what I'm saying? So I still have, my Bible, my Bible stuff still kind of, you know what I'm saying? But that to me is like one of the most trickiest verses or set of verses in the Bible, because the Bible tells you that you're supposed to have the fruits and all that with the seeds in, like it specifies with the seeds in it, right? Now, the craziest thing about that is this, and most people, like I said, people don't really read into stuff. They don't study stuff. We that's a big problem with us. We like surface level with everything. We don't really know the difference between knowing a thing in depth versus just being aware of a subject. You know what I'm saying? Just being aware of a subject doesn't mean you know it enough to really apply it, whatever you need to apply. Right. But anyway, with them specifying with the seeds in it, I said, man, I don't think anybody understands how magical that is, because you don't have to, like at that time period, right? So here's the debate. You get into this debate about religion and the Bible and who wrote it and what is there, did Moses really exist, or is there fragment J and fragment J and all this other kind of stuff, right? But what can't be disputed is this. Whenever the Bible was written, real, fake, fairy tale, myth, whatever, whenever it was written, there was no GMO. There was no seedless stuff.
Right, you're right.
So that means that whoever wrote it, whenever they wrote it, they were writing that in as a warning for a future time coming where they knew that somehow the seeds would no longer be inside the plants. They knew that this time. So to me, that was like, wow, I was like, that is freaky right there. That's freaky right there, that they knew there would be a time, because this GMO thing is new. This hasn't even been around 100 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is new. That's why there's so many illnesses associated with this stuff, because we're the guinea pigs, our generation. Like a lot of these chemicals and all this, they making fruits now out of multiple, like they got grapples, which is like a grape spliced together with an apple. So now you got grape flavored apple. Like so we're experimenting.
Oh, I ain't never heard of that one.
Oh man, grapples, and like there's a whole line of fruits that's like totally synthetic that they made in lab. Anyway,
what about apricots?
Apricots are really good.
Oh, okay.
Apricots are good, but no, that's a real fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I'm saying, these grapples though, it's like a man-made. Look it up when we get off of here. You'll see.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff out there.
Yeah. So we it's getting close to us ending the show. So
we
want to get we want to give you a chance to let people know where they can find you at.
Patreon.com/Dr. Inky. We're starting the classes up every Saturday. Also,
you're gonna be in New York or something.
First week in June, we're starting a 40-day fast. You also want to be, on the Patreon so you could be in tune with that. And the fast and the weekly classes are going to run up to July, where we're having a summit in New York, the Hudson Valley Theater. The tickets should go on sale this week. Where we're going to debut, we're giving a special screening of our film, our documentary, and a lecture. It's going to be crazy. So we definitely going to need everybody to support that, because we're trying to take this into a new space. Like in order for what we do holistically to make a dent worldwide, we have to get it out of the gutter. You know what I'm saying? And these little underground conversations, this is the gutter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to have this in school textbooks. We should have all learned this stuff in 5th grade, 6th grade. Like, there's no reason why at 30 and 40, we're just learning how our body works. Like, that's insane. That's the reason why we have so much metabolic illness literally means these are diseases you were not born with. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So that's nuts. Like, you got genetic disease. That means this is stuff that's in your DNA that you kind of can't get around. You're born with this stuff. But all these metabolic diseases is stuff you acquire because you don't really know how the body works. So you don't know how to combine up, you know, what you need to put together and that kind of stuff. So that's that's the space where, you know, so
that's where everybody can find you at, right?
Yeah. And I'll be back, you know, as soon as you ladies are happy, you know what I'm saying? So we didn't really get to hear from Ursula much, you know what I'm saying? But
I'm gonna say, well, we want to thank you, Dr. Enqi, for coming on the show today, and we truly appreciate it. More knowledge, and always good to have you on the show because like I said, it always gives us a lot of good knowledge.
That hour passed by fast, didn't it?
Yes, it does. Because you be talking, you be going at it. It's like you in a
mouth. I can go. I'm telling you.
She can too. That's why I just step back because you two together. Oh yeah.
But look that up. Look up the that's like the homework for this week's show. So look up the ratio of sodium to potassium because that's listed as one of the most dangerous things to American health is that we're getting more sodium than potassium. So you should look that up. Look up the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6. Look up your sea vegetables. You know what I'm saying? So
I gotta find out what is sea vegetables.
And get your omegas together. Like. Yeah, because the first areas that you feel the need that you're low is your joints, your elbows.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we thank you for coming on the show today. We appreciate it. Guys, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. We really enjoyed your conversation today, Dr. Enqi. Margaret, thank you for being here. Ursula, thank you for being here. And Dr. Enqi, we thank you for coming on our show.
I'll be back so we can go in. And so much more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But to learn the technical stuff, people really need to get in that class.
Yeah. And I want to thank you all for tuning in today. We love you guys. We'll see you on Tuesday. All right.
Peace.
Good night.
Good night.